Hey there, Tori. I am doing well. I hope you're doing well as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me make sure I hold all my stuff in place. Everything is moving. All righty. Hi, Rebecca. How are you? Thank you for joining me. Hopefully, this thing doesn't swivel around the whole time. Let's see. Make sure I tighten it up a little bit. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Here we go. Hey there, Marlos. How are you from Mexico? Okay. Hey, Mexico. Hi, Angeline. Is it Angeline? Hi, Angeline. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining me. Good evening, everyone. We're just waiting for some more people to come in. Please excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. Thank you guys for being here. Let me just go ahead and put a disclaimer out there while we're waiting for some people to come in. If you are, I don't know if you're on live right now or not. Hey there, Cluster B. How are you? Hi, Debbie from North Carolina. Welcome. But just a disclaimer, really briefly. This is not to some people think I do it to insult your intelligence. I'm absolutely not insulting your intelligence. A lot of times when I do the videos and after the videos have posted, a lot of times people think I'm live, and so they get offended at the fact that I'm not responding to them. And so I just want you to make sure. Hi, Lindsay. If you look up at the top, hold on, over here on Facebook, right there, and over here on YouTube, right here, if you don't see the red button will say live. If you don't see the red button and the red button says live, that means you are watching a replay. So if you're watching the replay over here on Facebook, it'll be on this side and it'll say was live. And I'm not sure where it is on YouTube. But hey, Sharima, but just to let you know that in the event that you come on and you don't see the red live, that means you are watching the replay. So if you are watching the replay, thank you so much. Remember, the live today is, what today date? Today is November the 9th, and so it is approximately 8:36 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then 8:36 Pacific Standard Time. And if you're not watching at that time, you add 2 hours on for Central Standard Time and 3 hours for, hey there, Larry from Oregon. Nice to meet you. Excuse me. But I am live right now. But if you come in and as beyond that, if it's not the little red button up there, then I am no longer live. And then you are watching the replay. So thank you so much for those of you that are here. Let me make sure I say hello to everyone. Also, if you're live, you're gonna have to hear me say all my salutations. If you're watching the replay, you can always hit the fast forward button and go beyond my salutations. But I love to come on and say hello, and thank you so much. It's the 10th where you at? Hold on. 8. Oh, it is the 10th. You know what? Thank you. It is the 10th. I'm so sorry. 8, not 10. Yeah, it is the 10th. Forgive me. I went back in time. Thank you, Freedom Cowboy. It is the 10th. My apologies. It is the 10th. I jumped backwards. I meant to jump forward. So I don't want to spring back. I don't want to fall back. Thank you so much. Let's look. So hi, Lindsay. Hi, Sherry Perry. Hi. Let's see. Is it Alanya, Lori, Peach Perez? What a pretty name. Peach. Gloria from Guam. Well, hello, Peach from Guam. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, William Todd Walsh. Thank you for being here. Miss Sherry, I did get your email. I got it the first time, then went back to look for it, couldn't find it. Then I got it, I think, the second time you sent it. I think you sent it twice, right? But I did get it. I apologize. I haven't had the opportunity to contact you back, but I do want to contact you. I would love for you to come one day on live so that we can talk in public. We can talk about some of our experiences in the counseling arena, if that's okay with you, in the counseling arena. or in our experiences working in a clinical setting. Like, so I want to share, I want you to share some of your experiences, and some of the experiences that you have when it comes to either working or not working with narcissists, how you screen them out, just to let people see that, as therapists, this is the kind of thing that we work with, and we make choices. You know what I mean? We make choices. And so let's see. When I say we make choices like clientele wise. But Sherry, I have not forgotten you. I still want you to come as my guest. I just have to figure out like what I'm probably going to use Zoom to go live on YouTube and Facebook, so that me and you can be on Zoom together. But I will contact you. So please forgive me for the delay. That is my fault. I take responsibility. I just had a really busy schedule. So I thank you. Thank you, Miss Sherry, for reminding me. I did get your email though. I will contact you. I promise you. Hey there, Jesus, girl Betty. Good to see you. Hi, Felix. How you doing? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see. Who else is Michelle? Oh, I like the way you spell that. That's pretty. Michelle. Thank you so much for being here. Look on the other side. Let me look on the other side. Let's see. Let's see here. Hi, Alex. How are you? And Debbie. And let's look. Sonic. Let me see. Please forgive me. I don't have my glasses on. Larry. No, Larry. I'm in Washington State. Let's see. And I'm sorry I don't speak Spanish. No comprende español. I'm so sorry. Hi from the UK. Is that Harriet? Hi from the UK. Thank you for joining me from all the way up from the UK. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Alex. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let's see. Hello. Please forgive me because the white lettering is against my shirt. I should have wore a different color shirt because my shirt is black and white. So your writing is in white, so it's blending in with my shirt. So please forgive me. Hi, Mary. Hi. Is it Iris Erie? Hi. Hi, love. Nikki. And is Jen. Uh I don't want to mess up your name. Please forgive me. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Dorothea Livingston. Thank you so much. Hey, just be real. I missed you. I missed talking to you. I'm gonna have to call you too. Check on you, see how you doing. We'll have to do a follow-up, see what you doing. Hey, Dana. Let's see. Zip Breeze. What's up? Sup? I don't know if you are. Is that I can't see on the picture because I don't have my glasses on. So Breeze, please forgive me. I don't know if you're female or male. Please let me know. Jericho. Okay, I like it. Thank you so much. I like that name. Destiny. Oh, Dusty. I'm sorry. Hi, Dusty. Let's look. Let's look. And Rangish, how are you? Let's see. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Hi, Priscilla. 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 There we go. From Colorado. Hello there, Colorado. Hi, Joyce. How are you doing? You see how important your content? Oh, thank you, Miss Cheryl. Thank you so much. And it's Charlene. Hi, Charlene. Cha-cha. All right. It was great. Thank you for asking. Who is Breesh? Breesh, are you female or male? Please forgive me. Let's see here. We missing anybody? Make sure I say hello to everybody. Okay, well, you guys ready? Hi, Mike. How are you doing, sir? Thank you for being here. Well, all right. Well, let's get started. Remember, I gave you the disclaimer. Look up at the top. If you see the little red and it says live, I am on live. And I don't say that to be condescending to anybody. It's just a lot of times when I've already done the live and the live is posted, sometimes people are asking, saying hello and asking why I'm not speaking to them is because of the fact that I'm no longer live. So if you're looking at the little the red live up here at the top, you see up in the camera, then I am on live. If not, you are watching the replay. And if you don't like, hey Tasha, and if you don't like all the salutations, if you are watching the after I've gone live, you're watching the replay. Thank you so much. If you're watching the replay, that means you can fast forward through my salutation. So let's talk about it tonight. We're going to be talking about breaking narcissist soul ties. Okay, first of all, I had to take me a little notes before I came on here, and it's an old book. I was looking at here as a journal. This journal, it was like in 2008, and it's falling apart. So all the colors coming off. But let's talk about some things now. keep in mind that we know, hey, Carmen, what a beautiful name. Keep in mind that all of us have different belief systems. Let me make sure my internet is connected, okay? Make sure my internet is connected. There we go. Make sure we get good quality, get some good quality. Please forgive me, Facebook. It was resetting itself, but make sure we are connected to the internet. Now, listen, I understand, those of us that are on here, a lot of us come from different religious backgrounds. We come from different, spiritual backgrounds, so we have different, but one thing that we all can say is that there's something very insidious about a narcissist. We understand that they are human beings. We do understand they're human beings, and they have a mental disorder called narcissistic personality disorder. Now, keep in mind, everybody that has narcissistic traits or is manipulative or is abusive does not have NPD. Not everybody has narcissistic personality disorder. Now, people do have narcissistic traits. A lot of us have narcissistic traits. We know how to gaslight folks, because I gaslight my kids sometimes, and it's funny until I think about what I'm doing. Oh, you ain't gonna share your French fries. All them hours I've been in labor, and you gonna do me like that. All them times you used to take them little tiny short fingers and squeeze them little peas in my plate and try to eat, and you gonna handle me that? That's called gaslighting. Even though it's kind of funny and cute, but that's gaslighting. You know what I mean? So a lot of us know how to give the silent treatment. We get mad at somebody, we give them the silent treatment, get ourselves together. We may even block you, not even block you. We may just, walk away. You stop talking. But a lot of people, most people have narcissistic traits. This does not make a person, it does not make a person a narcissist, right? But you have to remember that most of us, doesn't matter what your background is, doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter your belief system, we all can say that there's something not right about this personality disorder. You know what I mean? There's something insidious about it, because why would a person just want to hurt you and get pleasure out of watching a person suffer? There's something not mentally right with a person that wants to see another human being suffer, right? So we can all agree to that. Now, true enough, I understand that when I'm going to explain, I'm saying this because I'm going to explain this based off of the way that I understand it, the way that I have been taught in my belief system. Those of you that have different belief systems, you know that I am a believer of Jesus Christ. And so when I bring you the information, I'm bringing it to you from the perspective of me as a believer in Jesus Christ. Now, however you believe, you have to apply it to how you believe. But the first thing I want to say is that we are triune beings. We are spirit, and our spirit is in a body. It is a physical body. It's like a spacesuit. We are in a physical body, and we have what is called a soul. Your soul. Let's talk about the soul, okay? And like I said, you have to apply it the way you want to apply it. But the soul, for example, I was doing some research, and in the dictionary, the Collins Dictionary, they define the soul as the part of you that consists of your mind, your character, your thoughts, and your feelings, your personality. That is your personality. So, when we start talking about a narcissistic personality disorder, it's a character flaw, because your soul consists of your character. This is what makes you human. That's what makes you human. That what makes you connect to people around you. Is your feelings, your emotions, your mindset, your willpower. Makes you human. It makes you connect to the things around you. So the word psycho, which is the beginning of psychology, which is the study of the soul. Psycho is a Greek word. It is derived from the Greek word psycho, meaning soul and mind. So when you're talking about the study, psychology, the study of the mind and how the mind influences behavior. Okay. So when you say psyche is also a Greek word meaning breath, soul, mind, life. This is this is what makes us human. Hold on, let me move my feet around. I'm gonna move my feet around. I want to knock the camera down. I got big feet, y'all. So I didn't want to knock the camera down while I was moving my feet around. But so when you're talking about psyche or psycho, now many of you know that psycho also means, what the definition was, a crazy person or a mentally disturbed individual. But the word psycho, or psyche, those Greek words meaning the soul, the study of the soul, the study of human emotions, the human willpower, your thought process, and how this thought process influences your behavior, because everything starts in here first. So now when we start talking about a soul tie, let's think about this for a minute. You have positive and negative soul ties. You have good and bad soul ties. Let's talk about the positive soul ties for a minute and how it works. So a lot of you may have children or nieces or someone you love, or and I'm talking about the positive. I'm not talking about the negative. I'm not talking about this dysfunctional or this toxic type of relationship that you have. I'm talking about the healthy relationships you have. Your children, your mom, your sisters, your brother, and I'll just talk about the kids for just a minute. Some of you have children. You have an emotional tie, an emotional connection to your children. It's called a soul tie. You have an emotional connection to your children. And you know that some of you parents, when your kids went out there in the world, or your kids were out there in the streets or running the streets or whatever they were doing, sometimes you may have woken up like something ain't right. There's an uneasy feeling like something ain't right. Let me call my kid. Let me call, because as a parent, you pick up on stuff and you're like, something's not right, let me call. Or have you guys had like your kids talk to you, or maybe your adult kids talk to you, and you can just feel that something's not right? Okay, what's wrong? You calling me, but what's wrong? I'm sensing something's not right. Or you sound different. Or those of you that have teenagers or young kids, they lying to you, and you looking at them, you like, something in that story. You look guilty. You don't did What did you do? You look guilty. What have you done? And you can pick up. Now, check this out. Some people are hypersensitive. They're so hypersensitive, and this is what you hear the term empaths. That hypersensitivity. You're very, very sensitive to your environment. You're very, very sensitive to the people around you, and you can pick up. You're hypersensitive. It's like ultra sensitive. You pick up on more than the average person, and a lot of that starts in your nerves. It's like your nerves are feelers. And you can pick up in the room, you can pick up in people, you can pick up. And for a lot of you that are learning, about the high sensitivity, a lot of you, you get overwhelmed when people, the too many people pull on you. You get hypersensitive. It wears you out and drains you very quickly. So you have those positive soul ties with family and friends, and sometimes they'll wear you out. You ain't got to be an empath to get wore out by family that is needy, or people that are just ultra needy. And so those are some positive soul ties. Those are some positive, hypersensitive. Those are some positive soul ties. Those are positive, human connections. Those human connections. Now, when you're talking about, those negative soul ties, sometimes you are, and those you're emotionally bonded to a person. You have an emotional bond to your child, an emotional bond to a parent. You've known your parents all your life, and I'm not talking about those toxic parents. I'm talking about those healthy parents. Parents that make mistakes, but you have a healthy emotional connection and a healthy emotional bond to those individuals. Now we're talking about the toxic one. You're talking about those that you are trauma bonded to. Those you are traumatically, emotionally bonded to. So when you have been abused and misused, and a person has taken you to the highest level to make you feel, to make you feel, to make you feel drama, to make you feel traumatized, to make you feel, traumatized, to make you feel, let's put it this way, because now we're talking about like those narcissistic, trauma bonded, those that you are trauma bonded to these narcissists, or abusive individual. Like I said, not all abusers are narcissists. Sometimes they have narcissistic traits, but that does not mean that they're necessarily narcissists. But let's talk about that. When you are traumatically bonded to an individual, that means a person has taken advantage of your emotions, have taken advantage of your mind, and has bonded you to them traumatically. That's a traumatic bond. That's a traumatic emotional connection with someone, where a person will take advantage of your emotions. A narcissist feels empowered with the ability to make you cry, or the ability to make you laugh, or to the ability to make you smile, and then they can take that away. They feel empowered with the fact that they can hurt you. And some of them get pleasure out of the fact that I can make you cry, because your cry or your pleas of that is what they thrive off of, the ability to have control over your emotions. And keep in mind that anytime another human being feels empowered or is able to make you act out of emotions, they have the power. You no longer have the power. You've lost the power. That's why a lot of people that have anger, see, a lot of times when there's a difference between anger and rage. A narcissist usually operates out of rage, and there's a difference between anger and rage. Anger is a human emotion. Anger is still controllable. Anger, you're able to pull yourself back, calm yourself down to keep yourself from reacting, versus responding. You can pull yourself back, you can get your thoughts together for just a minute in order to respond versus react. So anger, you still have control out of. But when you have unbridled anger, and it turns into rage, rage will cause you to react versus thinking and responding. Rage will get you in trouble. Rage can cause people to be unalive. Rage will cause you to black out and not to remember or recall what you just done, or black out. And then by the time you come to and you calm down, you realize that you have made a terrible mistake that you can't take back. So that's anger versus rage. You never let your anger get out of control. If you feel, and especially you have to remember that a narcissist wants to get you in rage, especially if you've had rage problems before and you have dealt with those rage problems. A narcissist is a person that can't control their emotions anyway. Now, they'll fly into a rage and do some serious harm, So you have to remember, but in that, they prefer the negative emotions. If they can't get a positive reaction, a positive response from you, they much rather go with a negative reaction because they still feel like they're empowered and they're enraged. I mean, they're empowered over your emotions. Always remember, if another person could cause you to react, if another person could cause you to react and make you get out of character, or cause you to make decisions, in a moment, in a heated moment, or in a moment of emotions, that person has control over you. And that's not what we want. You are being trauma bonded because you are being conditioned. And I always talk about, remember the Pavlov theory of the salivating dog. Some of you guys remember that from your psychology classes, where they were talking about classical. I'm wiping my lipstick off. I'm sorry, y'all. But they talk about the classical conditioning. And what it was is, they took a natural reaction, a natural, not a natural reaction, but a natural response, such as salivating when you smell food. The dog smells food, it's an automatic response to salivate, because your palate is getting prepared to, no, I don't speak Spanish, but your palate is getting prepared to eat food. So you smell food, it's a natural response. It's a natural response to smelling food. It's an automatic response. You start to salivate. So what they did is they took a bell. They took a bell, and they took something that was not natural. They took a bell, and what they did was they tied the dog up and they rang a bell. And when they rang the bell, they brought food. And so the dog began to be conditioned to, when the bell rings, the food comes, the dog salivates, because it was natural for the dog to salivate when the food was coming. But what they did was they added the bell in there, and when they rang the bell, then they brought the food. So the dog became conditioned to the bell ringing, and when the bell rang, the dog salivated because he knew that the food was coming. Now, what they did was then is they continued to ring the bell, and they took the food away. So the dog was conditioned to start salivating because there was an expectation when the bell rang. This is what a narcissist does to people. What they do is they condition your natural response, and they add something else in there to cause you to react rather than naturally responding to something. If you respond to something, I always advise people to take 24 to 48 hours to think it through, to get your emotions in check, so that you will have a response versus a reaction. A lot of you will this is how they condition you. They'll send you this crazy text. They'll say this crazy stuff, and out of habit, you react. First of all, let me get you straight. First of all, here you guys go. First of all, let me tell you something. You don't play with me. You don't know my name. You don't. And what you need to do is not even put the name up on the top of the text and go ahead and say what you got to say and then delete, 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 delete. Right? Delete, 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 delete. You guys see it on I think Facebook and Instagram or wherever it is where somebody says something, they just start texting, 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 and then they delete, 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 and they're like, okay, take 24 to 48 hours. For some of you, you don't have to ever talk to a narcissist ever again. If you don't have any connections, you don't have any children, you don't have any, anything invested, some of you have children. And so that's why I tell you guys, for the children's sake, sometimes you still have to communicate. But before you respond to any text messages or anything, take 24 to 48 hours to respond, because you have been conditioned. See, a narcissist knows, because you have been conditioned to pop off at the mouth. You have been conditioned to react. And in your reaction, you're giving entirely too much information. You tend to give information, and all they're trying to do is locate you. What they're playing with you is they're playing, what's the game that I always talk about? They're playing Battleship with you. Because if I can get you to react, I can locate you. But if you take too much time and you think about what you're going to say and you respond, I can't locate you because there are no feelings there. Gray rock means take out all your emotions, handle it like a business transaction. Take all your emotions out of it. Take all your emotions out of it and respond. They can't locate you because they need a reaction from you. So this is how you're being conditioned. And when you are being conditioned, you're being conditioned so that they can locate you. You're being conditioned so that you give them a reaction. You're being conditioned. You're being trauma bonded to this individual. You get trauma bonded to this individual. They do little things systematically to isolate you, systematically to get you to react so they can locate you. They always know whether you care or not because of the reaction you give them. Systematically, you are being conditioned. You are being trained. You are being traumatically bonded to a narcissist. You get a soul tie, emotional tie to this narcissist, to a point where you begin to depend on them to make you feel good when you feel bad. They can make you feel bad, but you always have hope because they're going to come back through to make you feel better. Hope is the last thing to go. So you are now being traumatically, emotionally bonded to this individual where they become your everything. They almost become like a god in your life, where you totally depend on them to make you feel good. You totally depend on them to make you feel better about yourself. You totally depend on them emotionally to balance you out. So you are now emotionally bonded. So then when you try to get away from them, and check this out. When a woman has a baby, there's this chemical that's released called oxytocin. Oxytocin is a bonding chemical. Now, true enough, you're dealing with dopamine, you're dealing with serotonin, that's your feel-good chemicals, right? But when a woman has a baby, for example, there's this chemical release called oxytocin. And when we breastfeed our children, or, the more we handle our children, we breastfeed, the more you bond with that baby. You start having an emotional bond with that baby. You remember you used to cry, you used to come and look, you become bonded to that baby. It's a chemical bond. That same oxytocin is the same thing that when you're using substances, you get connected, or you get addicted to the substances. That's that same chemical that's a part of addictions, right? So there's that oxytocin, so you have to remember that with a narcissist, why do you think they love bomb you so hard? They love bomb you because they make it better, excuse me, my earring is hurting, but it's that same chemical that's being released when they're love bombing you, because they're giving you something that you probably never experienced before. Why do you think they take so much time to get to know you? They talk to you, and a lot of people are like, listen, when you say this feels like my soulmate, they feel like my soulmate. They're such good listeners. I always feel so much better, so much gooder. I feel so much better after I talk to them. It's like I can talk. They're like they become a therapist. They soothe my soul. They say all the right thing. Listen, this is what's happening. You're being interrogated. You got an enemy that's interrogating you, and not only are they interrogating you, the thing that they're doing is they're allowing you to lay out the script of your life. You're telling them all your hurts. You are telling you're telling them all your hurts. You're telling them all your what's the word? Your kryptonite. All the places that you have been, people have hurt you, the things that you don't like. I don't like silent treatment. I don't like for people to be dishonest with me. I don't like this. I don't like this. And I have been hurt. And this is what my mother has done. And this is what the last person that I dated. So you are giving them all the weapons in your arsenal. You're telling them all the secrets. You're giving them all the secret codes to your life. You're telling them all the places where you have women. We bad at that. We ladies, we talk too much. You know what I mean? Sometimes we just talk entirely too much. We talk to people, even when we're talking to women, and sometimes you don't even realize that the women that you're talking to could be a narcissist too, and they'll hold everything that you say against you. And especially when you try to date someone, you're giving them entirely too much information, and they're sitting there listening to you as you talk. You're giving them the script to the play of your life. You are handing them the movie script, and you're letting them read the movie script, and this narcissist is taking the time to determine. Yeah, we talk too much sometimes. They're taking the time to determine what role they're going to play in your life. They're going to be your superhero, but they're going to figure out what role they're going to play in your life. They're going to be the knight in shining armor, or they're going to be the damsel in distress so that you can be the hero. You know what I mean? So that you can be the hero. They're going to let you play hero. And there are narcissists that play victim all the time. They got to figure out what your weaknesses are. And your weaknesses could be, I always got to rescue somebody. I always got to save somebody. What do young people call Captain Saver? you know so and you always got to rescue somebody, especially those of you that are highly sensitive, that are called empaths. A lot of time, an empath, you take upon too much on yourself, as if you're supposed to rescue everyone. You take upon those emotions, and you feel like you got to save everybody. You got to feel the pain, and I'm gonna feel the pain, and I'm gonna rescue you from your pain. That's how you get caught up, because you don't know how to observe without absorbing. You don't know how to look and take away what is not yours. And you don't take upon everything. You know what I mean? That's how they pull you in, and that's how they trap you and traumatically bond you, emotionally bond you. Get that soul tie, that emotional tie with them, because you feel sorry for them. And I don't want to leave, because if I leave, they may be homeless and they don't have nothing to eat. Where were they before they met you? They were somewhere. Somebody was taking care of them before they met you. So trust me, when you close the door to them now, and some of them, listen, some narcissists are so dramatic that they'll purposely make themselves homeless, purposely stay in the car to force your hand, to force you to do something, because see, this is what you did to me. For most narcissists, that's what they did to themselves. That's not what you did. That's what they did to themselves. See, I lost my job because I was chasing behind you because I love you so much. And you're like, oh, I ain't never felt this before. And you all up in your emotions. You cannot make emotional decisions. And when we're talking about dating somebody, in this time and age, you can't you can't jump into no situationship. You got to do a lot. You got to do a lot of asking questions. You got a lot of background checks. There's a lot you got to do. You cannot make permanent decisions based off of emotions. Your emotions are going to get you in trouble every time. You don't make, listen, when you're looking at a house or you're looking at a car, you don't base your decision off of emotions. The car, I look good in that car. People gonna be jealous of me. Some people do make decisions like that. I'm gonna buy this car because I look good in this car. I'm gonna buy this car because of the fact that they're gonna be jealous of me. And yet the engine ain't no good. You ain't took it to no mechanic to have the mechanic look under the hood. You haven't even researched. There was a car that I really, really wanted. I have been wanting this car for years. I've told everybody I'm going to get this SUV. And it is the Range Rover. I wanted the Range Rover. That's what I wanted. Boy, I wanted every time I saw it. Thank God I'm gonna have I'm gonna get me a Range Rover. And it just so happened one of the people in my circle are in the car towing business. And come to find out that vehicle is not really worth what we think it's worth. And when I say that, they say, and I went to research it too. And one of the car dealerships told me that that car is really not worth buying. They have entirely too many problems, a lot of mechanical problems. They have a lot of maintenance issues. And then I was like, no, I'm gonna get the right one. Then another person within the circle that are in the car towing business said that some of the vehicles that they see the most, that they tow the most, that SUV happens to be one of them. They have a lot of electrical and mechanical issues. And I was so heartbroken because that is the one that I wanted. And so think about it. If when you make an invest, that's a large investment. That would have been a very large investment. Some of those vehicles are like $97,000. If you get them relatively new, that is a very big investment. And if you're making a big investment when it's concerning your emotions and your mindset, and you're talking about a soul tie with someone, because when you get into a situationship or a relationship, you are willingly getting into a soul tie situation. And when you are having soul tie with someone, you got to make sure you do some your time to research this person. Maya Angelou said that when they show you who they are the first time, believe them. But you know what most people do when you really want to be in a relationship and you really like the aesthetics and you really like what you see, but you have not waited to see what, because you can only hold a facade for so long. You can only hold a facade for so long before things start breaking apart and you start seeing the real person. Give them about 6 months to a year, and they're going to show you their spending habits. They're going to show you how they treat people. You can go into a restaurant to see how they treat somebody like a waiter or a waitress. Waiters and waitresses have to make money. Do they tip them? How do they handle them? Do they handle them like they're servants? Do they mistreat them? Do they talk to them crazy? How do they handle their mother and father? How do they handle their baby mamas or their ex-wives or ex-husbands? How do they talk about them when they talk to them about you? Do they dog them out? How do they talk about their exes? Why did they break up? Sometimes they don't tell you the truth. How did they break up? What is their anger like? When they get angry, what do they, the mask will fall off, will slip off, and you have to catch it. Sometimes you're like, See, and a lot of times when you have been in a bad situation for a long time, sometimes you guys don't trust. And I say you guys, I include myself in the you guys, because we're tribe together and a lot of us have been through this. But a lot of times you stop trusting your own intuition, your own shanana. You don't, the red flags are not red flags to you. Your red flags, they look kind of orange, but you have to remember, sometimes you're looking for a definitive answer. You're looking for, I need a red flag, show me a red flag. Sometimes the red flag is this feels a little uncomfortable, or I don't know where to put my finger. I can't put my finger on it. There's something is not right. And then you have to remember that a narcissist will gaslight you. A narcissist will tell you the only reason why you're doing that is because of the fact, remember you said that you had problems in your family or you had bad relationships. So you're grouping me in that. You're not giving me a chance. You're not trusting me because I'm not like the others. No, when you start getting that, just don't, something, I don't know what it is, but it doesn't feel right. Back up, back up. Because listen, every relationship that you have, whether it's a work relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, friendships, those are soul ties. You are investing your emotions, you are investing your mind, you're investing your conversations into a relationship. And for some, it's a situationship. And you have to make up your mind, because we are not, the narcissists are coming out and they get worse with time. And the thing about it is they're starting to listen to videos like this. They pick up our language, especially like, think about in therapy. They don't come to therapy to heal themselves. And you hear a lot of them talk about self-diagnosed narcissists that have been diagnosed by a doctor. They have the diagnosis. Those that are on live and they talk about the reason why I'm coming to talk to you about this is because of the fact that I'm tired of being like this. I'm tired. They're not tired of being like this. Hey, they're not they're not tired of being like this. It's just easy to get a whole bunch of followings on a social media. And a narcissist would tell you whatever you want to hear to gain your trust and to gain your loyalty. Whatever they think you want to hear, they're going to say it to gain your trust and to gain your loyalty, and on a social media platform to gain your following. If they notice that you want to hear them say, I realize what I am and I realize what I do, they're playing with your empathy, because a narcissist is a narcissist is a narcissist. And a lot of you get up in your emotions and you start thinking they're being honest, they're being sincere. I sense their sincerity. They know that they're narcissists. They're in therapy. They're tired of hurting people. They're telling you whatever you want to hear. They're telling you what they hear to gain followers, to gain loyalty, and to gain your trust, and to gain flying monkeys. Once they get flying monkeys, especially on these channels, in a public setting, in wherever, once they get your loyalty, they need hardcore loyal people, because those loyal people will fight for them when they're not even around. They can go to sleep. It's like, how you have to get up and make money. And then there are some people that know how to put that money to work where the money is working for them while they're asleep. Well, that's what the narcissist does. They say what they have to say to get a soul tie. And some of the soul ties may not even be in person. Some soul ties are created by watching social media. They gain followers, they gain loyalists, and guess what they do? They become flying monkeys and they fight on behalf of the narcissist when the narcissist is asleep. When the narcissist is asleep. And so these are soul ties as well. Sincerely lying, yup. But the master manipulators, absolutely. A narcissist is going to tell you what they think you want to hear. One minute they'll tell you this, and when they realize they don't have the majority of support, they don't have the majority of loyalists, they don't have the majority of your feelings, then they'll switch it up to what they think you want to hear. Remember, they're reading the script. They're reading the script of all these people. These people are telling, they're watching and they're listening, and then they begin to cultivate you. They begin to train you. They begin to traumatically bond with you. And what's the best way to bond to someone is to find their weaknesses and use their weaknesses. What they do is they strengthen your weakness. When I say strengthen your weakness, I don't mean strengthen your weaknesses to make you stronger. They strengthen the weaknesses and they use that as your kryptonite. Because the very thing that they said that they would never do, I would never treat you like this. Everyone that's done you like this, give me a chance. I'm only human. I'm going to make mistakes. But I never want to see you hurt like that. And then the very thing you told them hurt you is the very thing they'll use against you. If you are the type of person that doesn't like to be, you don't like to be isolated, not isolated, but you don't like to be rejected or have feelings of abandonment. When you get out of hand or you say something out of pocket to them or you do something to hurt them, then what they'll do is they give you the silent treatment or they make you feel rejected or abandoned in order to get you back into compliance. But that right there shows you now have a soul tie with this individual. In order to break the soul tie, so let's go ahead and we'll start winding this down so we can get off. But in order to break a soul tie with a narcissist, you have to go no contact. And I know you guys were waiting for something. I know many people were like, give me the magic words, give me the magic solution, give me the 1, 2, 3, and then it'll happen. Do you know that there are a lot of people that don't want to feel emotional pain? Most people get into situations, but they don't understand in order to get out of the situation, there's going to be pain getting out of the situation. You have to wonder, you think about this for just a minute. You have been traumatically injured, emotionally and psychologically wounded. And for some people, you are so accustomed to that pain that you won't leave that pain. That's all you know. That's the only attention you know. So that's what you gravitate toward. If you don't feel pain, you don't feel like you love. And that is a very dysfunctional way of thinking, very dysfunctional way of thinking. But for most of you that have maybe experienced surgery before, you went to the doctor and they had to press, to see, they went from from the least invasive to the most invasive. The most invasive means surgery. And when they gave you physical therapy, they gave you pain medications, but it didn't help. So the most invasive is to go in, do surgery to correct the thing that is broken or messed up or injured or whatever. The pain that you feel, is being corrected by another pain. So there's another injury inflicted, and the pain that you begin to experience after that is the pain of healing. A lot of people do not want to feel pain. No type of pain. You feel the pain of the trauma of the relationship, but most people don't want to feel the pain of hunger pains when you're trying to lose weight. You don't want to feel the pain after surgery. You don't want to feel the pain of disconnecting with the narcissist. No, I need some solution. Give me something now so I don't have to feel this. No, I need something right now, and I don't want to feel the pain that goes along with, breaking up with a narcissist. Well, there's pain that comes after that as well. And that pain that comes after that is called the pain of recovery. And every time you go back and you reconnect when they love bomb you, every time you go back, the pain is worse and worse, and the soul tie gets stronger and stronger, and it makes it hard. And they do more and more to make sure that you can't go get away, right? That you can't get away. And so the pain that you're experiencing is the pain of recovery. That's not the original pain, but sometimes the pain of recovery feels worse than the original pain and sometimes you're wondering, did I do the right thing? Because it hurts so much. There you go. So much, Alex. It hurts so much. It hurts worse than, and sometimes people make the decision, I can't handle this. I'm going to go back. I'd much rather be here with them than to be without them and suffer this pain. But that pain is temporary. It may be hard. It may hurt, but that pain is temporary. I'd much rather go through a temporary pain like that than a lifelong. You go back and you already know. And some people go back and they tell you, I already know, but that's a decision that I've made. And if they have made that decision, leave them alone, because they're going to go through even worse than what they went through before with that narcissist. Because that narcissist is going to make you suffer for leaving in the first place and making them suffer because they didn't find anybody else to replace them. And so the pain, the only way that you can break a soul tie is by going no contact. And when I say no contact, listen, let me put a disclaimer out there. Let me put a disclaimer. A lot of people that have children by a narcissist get bad advice from people that think they know what they're talking about. Do not, if you have children by the narcissist and you were married, there are different laws in your state. Now, I don't know about other countries because I don't know the laws outside of the country. But in a lot of states, you have to remember that there are laws that govern you taking those kids and leaving with those kids, whether male or female. And if you leave with those children, that narcissist can put a Amber Alert out there saying that you kidnapped them kids, not taking in perspective the fact that you're trying to escape them, but that fact that you are trying to kidnap the children. And so I tell this all the time. You have to remember, and I understand you have been isolated. They have made you to believe that keep people out your business. I don't want people in my business. Ain't nobody's business. I don't want nobody to help because nobody wants to help me. You better connect to the domestic violence hotline, and get you a domestic violence advocate. That advocate understands paperwork. That advocate knows how to document and present something in front of that judge so that they can get you out of that situation, whether in a shelter or whether you are going into a protection program where they're hiding you from the abuser if you feel like your life is threatened. And so you have to make sure that you get documentation. You reach out to where there's a will, there's a way. If you don't get the answer with the first one, you keep calling and say, I don't want to work with you. Give me somebody else. I don't want to work with you. Give me someone else. Now, don't make it so hard that folks don't want to work with you, because I understand when you are in fight, flight, or freeze or fawn mode, you will fight the help sometime. Don't fight the help. If someone is going to help you, let them let them document. You know what I mean? Let them document so that when you do get out of there with your children, that narcissist won't go into court saying that you kidnapped those kids. So stop taking advice from people that think they know everything and telling you just get up and go. And then on top of that, when you talk about get up and go, that's for and there's nothing normal or regular about domestic violence. But when you're with a narcissist, that's totally different. A lot of you have a hard time articulating your experiences with a narcissist because people just don't believe people are like that. And what do they usually do? Well, you got to pray harder. No, maybe you guys need therapy. No, maybe you're misinterpreting because you've been hurt. No, you know what you've been through. And this tribe on these channels right here understand what you've been through. We speak the language we understand. So when someone tries to play down and try to simplify what you've been through, that's a person you need to get away from. And sometimes, and sad to say, sometimes even domestic violence advocate don't understand what narcissist abuse is. This terminology has now been introduced in the world of psychology and therapy, where now people like Dr. Romney has introduced it, where we're now getting continuing education and certifications, to help those that are coming out of narcissistic abusive relationships. What does this look like? What is the language? They're teaching the language. And so, but you have to remember, when you're going to look for a therapist, remember that not all therapists want to work with people that have been in trauma. They don't want to, some of you like, well, this therapist is no good. Not all therapists want to work with trauma. Not all therapists they don't want to deal with that drama. You know what I mean? So you can go to Psychology Today. You can go to betterhelp.com/Dr. Carmen. Now, if you are not in the state of Washington, I cannot provide you with therapy, but you will get a discount by using my code. That is a sponsored link. And you can, but you have to remember that when you, in order to break a soul tie or to break a trauma bond, that's what it is, a soul tie, a trauma bond, an emotional connection, you have to go no contact. And no contact means, and some people, listen, I don't watch too many people. Sometimes I'll be ready to headbutt them, but I can't do it. I have to stay professional, y'all. Sometimes I want to just throat punch them, When you go no contact means no contact. Some people are like, no, my Facebook page is public. You need to make it private. You want them to see you and you want to be able to see them. I didn't block them out my telephone. You need to block them out of your telephone. That's just like having a substance abuse disorder. You can't just decide to, I'm going to refrain some. I done been through substance abuse, chemical dependency. I done been in inpatient treatment and everything. And so I know that I cannot use drugs or alcohol, but just on the weekend, I'm gonna just do a little bit. Or I'm just maybe once a week, I'm gonna do a little bit. Once you have been addicted to any type of substances, you cannot ever, you always have to be abstinent. Always. When you have been in a situationship with a narcissist, abstinence. You shut down I'm saying shut down your social media, but now you need to make your social media private. Unless you are a influencer. If you are a content creator and influencer, obviously you won't be able to do that. But when it comes to your personal Facebook page or your personal Instagram or things like that, you need to make that private. You need to block them out of your telephone. You do not need to be monitoring nothing. We're friends. Ain't no such thing as a friend with a narcissist. A narcissist will shelf you and wait around like a little shark, waiting to see when you put your foot back into that water, and they're going to take a bite and try to pull you. They're going to try to hoover you back whatever way you possibly can. Any way they possibly can. No contact means no contact. And if you have children, if those of you have children and the court, mandates that you have to communicate with them. For some of you, you need to use the parenting app. You can go look up on Google it, parenting app. It's a parenting app where you communicate through the parenting app. And the thing is as you're communicating through the parenting app, you realize it is also a legal document. If you ever need to use that in the court, you can pull that as a legal document to show how they talk to you. When you talk to them, there's also something that's called parallel parenting. There is no such thing as co-parenting with a narcissist. It's called parallel parenting. You guys go look up the videos. People have done videos on parallel parenting. And when you're doing parallel parenting, it's very, very strategic, but you take your emotions out of it. Use the parenting app. And those of you that don't want to use the parenting, and you can use people in between there, drop the child off, what time are you coming to get them? One of the biggest things, hey, how you doing? Like, I'm doing fine. How you doing? You just open up the door. That's an open-ended question. Now you having a whole conversation. I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. You don't have to say, and how about you? You guys have to start, use a talking parent app. There you go. But A lot of you are, we're in a habit of being nice. You know what I mean? You say, hey, how you doing, Dr. C? I'm like, hey, how you doing? I'm doing good. And then people start talking. And so we're in that habit. But when you're dealing with a narcissist, you have to start changing your habits. When say, hey, how you doing? I just wanted to check on you. I'm fine, thank you. That's all you need to say. Very short, closed end questions that you can't have a conversation. And don't do it with an attitude, because remember, you're gray rocking. When you do it with an attitude, they know they can still get their footing. You still angry. See, sometimes you like angry and you're enraged and everything. You think that's a good thing. That's not a good thing. That's letting them know that they can still pull you because you still got feelings. You still upset. I hurt you. See, they still feel empowered. You see what I mean? They still feel empowered. And so when it comes to that, you got to take your emotions out of it. Learn how to answer the, hey, how you doing? I'm great. Thank you so much. Thank you for asking. Leave it at that. Hey, and then you also have to remember that they use that power and control tactic when it comes to like parenting. They bring your kid late. They decide that they're not going to come pick them up, or I don't feel like picking them up, or I don't feel like dropping them off. You going to have to come over here and do it. Document, document, document. Also, there's Judge Anthony Bompiani. He has some outstanding classes to help you if you have to support yourself legally in a courtroom because you cannot afford a lawyer. He assists you. Now he can't represent you, but he will assist you to get paperwork going, what type of paperwork you need to file, teaching you how to respond in court versus react in court. So that is very, very, very important for many of you that are going through the divorce, or when you're dealing with the kids. Like I said, you don't want to be nasty. You don't want to have a nasty attitude because you're still hurting, but you don't, because guess who's going to have to pay? Your child is going to pay. The way that you handle them, they're going to make your child pay for your mistakes. So for some of us, we have to do things that's out of character. You have to be really nice. I'm fine, thank you. You don't have to say, and how are you? Now, some of you guys that are old school that know how to handle it and you'll never go back, that's fine. But the way that you break a soul tie is you have to go no contact and stay no contact. You have to look at it just like those people that have been inpatient for chemical dependency. You can never go back. You can't get a little swig. You can't just do social drinking. You can't, that's it. That's over with. You have to be abstinence. You know what I mean? You have to be abstinent, and you're going to have to be abstinent concerning that narcissist. You're going to have to be abstinent dealing with the narcissist. And you have to remember that it's painful. It is painful to go no contact. It is painful. It is painful not just to go no contact. It's just painful. It's painful. But the pain that you're experiencing is the pain of recovery. After you've had the surgery, when you ask the surgeon, this is so painful, I'm in so much pain, can you give me a little medication? For us who have been in these situations, there is no little medicine. There is no little medicine. You have to process this. And for some people, they just don't want to feel uncomfortable. Well, you were in discomfort when you were with them. So you're going to be in discomfort coming out. But you have to remember that the discomfort and the pain that you're experiencing is going to benefit you, because it's like the substance getting out of your system. It's that toxicity getting out of your system. Is you breaking that soul tie. Is you breaking that trauma bond. Well, that's all I have to say about that. I hope that you guys got something out of it. And I appreciate you all being here and listening to me. I hope that helped. Hopefully, if it helped one person, I am grateful. Listen. Oh, excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. I'm still trying to catch up with this fall back, spring forward, But listen, a lot of you are wanting to help family and friends, and you're frustrated because no matter how much you say, it seems like they're not listening. Listen, when we were teenagers, no matter how much somebody told you that this person was no good, you had to figure it out yourself. And as long as people were telling you, you were going to do just the opposite of what they were saying, and I want to know. Now we look back like, dang, I wish I would have listened. Sometimes you can't press people. You can't press people all the time, because then people want to get away from you. They know you telling the truth, but when you press people like that, it make them want to stay more. And then what you're doing is you're empowering the narcissist, because now the narcissist is going to use your words against you. See, I told you they're trying to break us up. They tried to talk to me, and they were trying to get with me anyway. They'll use anything to separate you from the person that they know is giving you good information. You know what I mean? And so, especially when you're dealing with family members, you guys are on social media. A lot of the people that are on thank you, Jimmy. A lot of the people that you're on social media with, think about it. You got family, you got friends, and sometimes it's better. Sometimes it's not good coming from you. Sometimes it's better coming from a third person. You know what I mean? Sometimes your kids won't even listen to you. It has to come from a third person. And that third person said, Miss Cluster B could say something to my daughter, and it's the exact same thing that I said, because we're in the same circle. But my kid will probably say, oh my gosh, Miss Karen, Aunt Karen is Aunt Karen. Aunt Karen said this, and you're thinking to yourself, that's exactly what I said. Sometimes it's another person that may have to say the exact same thing that you said, and they'll listen to them sometimes before they'll listen to you. You know what I mean? And so the thing that I'm telling you, some of you guys do have family and you do have friends that are on your social media. When you see a video like this, or there's Cluster B Free Karen that's on here, my mom, Helen Sadler, your Destiny Helper, Telsha with the T on NPD. You also have Tasha Leland, Confessions of a Christian Girl. All of us we run in the same group. We're in the same, we're in the same group. We support each other. And when you hear one of them make a video, because I may not be for everybody. I'm not for everybody. Telsha is not for everybody. Cluster B Free Karen is not for everybody. My mom may not be for everybody. But when you hear something and it hits you, and it's something that you know someone else needs, instead of calling them and say, you need to watch this because this is exactly what you're going through, repost the video. You would be surprised. And I promise you, I've seen this too many times. You would be surprised how many people will watch that video, but they'll never tell you they watched the video. Sometimes they'll tell you later on in the end that I was watching those videos. So I didn't even know, be honest with you, like I post them on my personal Facebook all the time. You know, my personal Facebook, and I post it on my, Overcoming Narcissist. That's a public page. I didn't even know some of the people that I have known since high school. Sometimes they say, I always watch your videos. I didn't know that. I did not know. Some of them said, I've been through that. I've had conversations with classmates that was like, I went through that. And you remember so and so and so and so? I'm like, yeah, he was a narcissist. You know what? Now that I think about it, hey, sis, hey, Danielle. But, I've talked to them and I was like, I didn't know that. Or there are some classmates that I've talked to while I was dating somebody, and me and them were talking about it. I'm like, I didn't realize until now that that person was a narcissist. I'm talking about it and it dawns on me like, oh my God, this person was a narcissist. And don't think I haven't went on my Facebook and deleted them off of my Facebook, especially when they, and they pursuing, or they're saying stuff and you're thinking to yourself like, whoa, wait a minute. And you start thinking, we're talking. There are people that I've taken off of my Facebook, honey. I sure did. Because we not playing that. In this season, there are too many of them out there. You are your greatest investment. You are your greatest investment. You kings and you queens, you are your greatest investment. And that's to include the men on this broadcast. Gentlemen, there should be no woman. First of all, you already had a mama. So no woman should come in your life and act like they're your mother. A woman will come in there telling you what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. I mean, you guys have your own relationship, but you also have to have boundaries. And sometimes women, we talk too much. We try to be too bossy. We try to control too much. But now imagine we like that and we're having to learn how to have a relationship. Now imagine a narcissistic woman that comes in and wants total control over a man. That is sickening. I hate to say it, but that to me, I can't stand it. And you have to remember that a narcissist, it's like a narcissist does stuff like that. A male and a female, they'll do stuff like that, but they think they're in power. So they think that people are cheering them on and it makes them look strong. To me, to see a woman disrespect a man and talk to a man crazy, to me, it makes me sick to my stomach. And I have no respect for that woman. And she think, yeah, I'll run my house. You're stupid. You're really stupid for trying to embarrass him and humiliate him in public. You know what I mean? That is disgusting. And same for men. When you mistreat a woman, for some men, they'll tell you that's disgusting and you're weak. And I'm not talking to any of the brothers on here that have been through something like that, okay? But listen, I appreciate you guys. I really do. Is that is it Mark I don't have my glasses on. Please forgive me. It's Mark I'm gonna wear my glasses more often. I need to. Mark Kill. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hi, Julie. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, Pink Girl. Yeah, you guys make sure you listen to Pink Girl too. She's awesome. She's awesome as well. Make sure you listen to her. But I appreciate you guys. See, you do use the gray rock. See, there you go. I do. I try to. Hey, I always tell you guys, I am retired military. I kept it real in the military with the soldiers. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Because we've been through too much. We've been through too much, had too many people lie. And one thing I can't stand is when a person is kind of I'm not saying not to be sensitive to your emotions. I would not get on here and just dog you out. That's not what I would do. And I am sensitive to people's emotions because I understand that people are hurting. But when I say sensitive to emotion, they're so sensitive that they won't just be honest with you and tell you the truth. And their mindset is normally, well, you've already been through a lot and I don't want to hurt you. You need to tell them the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts. Y'all know sometimes the truth hurts. I remember, I'm going to tell y'all this story. I'm going to get off. My big sister, Bishop Kathy Gibson. Oh, Lord. Let me tell you, when I got discarded, well, when I made a decision I was going to get a divorce and he discarded, I remember we were in church and my mother was ministering to me, but I was broken, and that was the first time I had been that broken in public in front of people. And I was embarrassed, but at the same time, I was so broken and I was crying and I had my head tilted down and snot was coming out of my nose. Yeah, I was crying like a baby. You hear me? Because I was so. And the crazy thing about it is, listen, the crazy thing is I don't even like him. Isn't that crazy? Some of you guys look back like I ain't even like her. I ain't even like him. Why was I crying like a fool? Why was I crying like this? This don't make no sense. And you thinking like, why am I crying? Why am I so hurt? Because you have been so because you trauma bonded. You are trauma bonded. And I remember I was leaning over and I was crying and snot was coming out and I was trying to wipe my face and trying to be hard. I was trying to be a thug, I was trying to thug cry and it wasn't working. And I remember she was just looking at me because I looked up and she was just looking at me. I think Demetria Fields was up there too. She was up there too. But I remember they were looking at me and the way she looked, she said, what you up there crying for? She cried. And she said it. Don't be laughing, Tasha. You know it's true. She was looking. I remember she said, what you up there crying for? Only wants what you crying for? And all I kept thinking was like, you don't even care. You don't even care about me. I'm hurting. And you just looking at me. You ain't gonna let me. And then Tasha at the time, she hadn't reached her soft girl period yet. Looking at me like, they were just judging me, y'all. They were judging me. But I just remember my sister's face. Like, what you crying for? And I remember she's up there just crying for. And it wasn't until years later when I finally got beyond and broke that trauma bond and everything. It was funny then. It was funny then as we're talking about it because she looked at me, what you up there crying for? Because that's what I wanted. I wanted to get away. But remember I told you sometimes the pain of the recovery hurts even more because I didn't want to be with him. I didn't want him in my life anymore. I didn't even like him. I didn't even like him. Now, to be honest, I did love him because I learned to love. It wasn't until the end of the marriage where my mother had me in counsel and was teaching me how to love because I never really understood how to love. And so I began to love because love is not a feeling. Love is not an emotion. I made a choice to do right and to be right. You see what I mean? And the more I tried to do right and to shut my mouth sometimes and to make sure that, I did what I had to do, the worse he got. You see what I mean? Yeah, the worse he got. And the more abusive he got, the worse he got. And yes. But I remember, I was like, why is she so insensitive? But I was glad that she saw beyond the pain where I was at. Remember I told you after the surgery, sometimes you got to get the physical therapy. And the physical therapy hurt worse than I remember I got shoulder surgery and I had to get that physical therapy. I wanted to fight everybody in there. Only problem was I couldn't lift my arm up. You know, all I had to do, I don't know if you guys ever had shoulder surgery. I had to bend over and you have to let your arm dangle and just kind of let it dangle in a circle. And just about how slow I was moving that arm, but that was so painful. I just wanted to knock down everything from people's desks. But the problem was I just, like I said, I couldn't bring my arm up to slap, but I couldn't hit nobody. But that pain was so excruciating. But I got full use of my arm. I got full use, and I know Cluster B Free know what I'm talking about. You got full range of your arm now. But it took physical therapy. You know what I mean? And I'm grateful that I was around the women that I was around. They were strong women. They have emotions, but they were strong women. And in the moment where I was weak, they were able to be strong on my behalf. They saw beyond the physical therapy I was going through at the time. The emotional physical therapy. They saw beyond where I was at. They knew I was beyond that. I just didn't see myself beyond that yet. I didn't see myself beyond the heartbreak. And they looking at me like, if you don't get your big head up and stop acting a fool and crying over that fool, you know, now I understand. But I'm grateful that they didn't get on my level and woe is me. I'm grateful that they were able to look at me and say, if you don't get up and shake this off. But I'm glad they were like that. I am. I didn't like it then because it was painful because I wanted them to woe is me with me. But I'm glad that I was around strong women to keep me strong. It's like not being able to walk and got two women holding you up on both of your sides, you know, holding you up. You know what I mean? And so that's what you need. You need a good tribe that's not going to get on the ground, woe is me, and roll on the floor and cry with you. But they let you have your emotional time. They let you have your emotional outburst. They let you do whatever you have to do, but they already can see beyond where you are. And it just, you know what I mean? It just, you know, it's just that matter of getting beyond that pain. And you have to be around a good tribe. You have to be around a good group of women or men, strong men, you know what I mean, to help you, to hold you up in the moment of your weakness. And most people won't even know that those are the ones that are holding you up because they put you in the forefront and you still look good. You still look beautiful. You still look strong and they cover you in your weaknesses. That's what you need. Those are the type of people you want around you that'll cover you to keep anybody from seeing your weaknesses while you're recovering from that pain. You know what I mean? So, hey, I'm going to go. I'm gonna go, but I just want you guys, thank you to know, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys for being here. I appreciate you guys for supporting me, supporting this channel. Thank you so much. And thank you, Miss Dorothea. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. I am always so honored. Thank you so much, Tasha, because I know you're a busy woman. Miss That's Demetria. Thank you, Tasha, Danielle, Just Be Real. Thank you guys so much for moderating for me. Who's the other person that was moderating? Sharima, thank you so much for helping me out. As you see folks saying crazy stuff. Look, I was looking over there. I said, let me stay focused. You know, Just Be Real, the first one. Stay focused, Dr. C. I got you. You know, so she keep me focused. Some crazy stuff coming up there, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I am so honored. And thank you, Tasha, because I know you're a busy woman. You got 100,000 jobs. So thank you so much for being here. And thank you, Miss Karen, for coming to support me, because I know she's a busy lady herself. Listen, I want you guys to go check out on Mondays at 6 p.m. Those of you that have Clubhouse, my little sister comes on. Her name is Victoria Sadler, and the Quantum You. And it's a lot of us are on that channel on her platform, but I want you guys to go listen to her. She's a powerful young woman. She's a millennial, but she's a powerful young woman. You know, and I want you to go listen. Thank you so much, Felix. I want you to go listen to her, listen to us as we're talking. You know, really thrive with her. You know, she makes you think about your business, you know, about what you're doing, about your vision. You know, really, she's a powerful woman. And then on Tuesday at 7:45 Pacific Standard Time in the morning, my mother is on Clubhouse. Is Your Destiny Helper House. It's Apostle Helen Sadler, Your Destiny Helper House at 7:45. And a lot of these people's names that I called out are on that platform. And we're talking about narcissist abuse. And some of you guys really need to be there to support, because you can ask, you get to come up, you can ask questions, you know, you can have a conversation with us. A lot of us are right there on that platform, but you don't want to miss this, because a lot of times the stuff that we talk about, This is like thousands of dollars on a platform, and the type of people that you have on that platform is the type of people that are get paid thousands of dollars to provide that type of information. And so listen, I'm gonna go ahead and go because I'm sleepy now. This camera over here, Tasha, I'm gonna have to bring you my camera because this camera make me look like I have bloodshot eyes, and I actually don't. My eyes are not, I don't think my eyes are bloodshot, but my lipstick is all the wrong color on this camera. So she's the photographer out of the group. She know how to get them angles, so I got to get her to adjust my color on my telephone because she's a droid girl. Now I am an iPhone person, but I slipped up and I did got a beautiful Android telephone, and it is a really nice telephone. So I got to bring it to her so she can adjust the color in my telephone because the color is off. So I'm gonna have to bring you my droid, Tasha, so you can fix it for me. But listen, you guys have a beautiful evening. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sergio. Thank you. My son's brother's name is Sergio. Thank you. Look at Samsung all day. Look at Team Samsung. I got both, so I'm straddling the fence. I got both of the telephones. But thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Those of you that are veterans, and of course, Tasha, I know you are a veteran daughter. Thank you guys so much. Tasha, if you got your paperwork, make sure you go get you a free meal because those of you that are veterans, go look out. There are a lot of restaurants that are serving veterans free. Get you some free coffee. So if you guys like coffee, go get you some free coffee. They're doing on Veterans Day. For those of you that are veterans, go get you some free coffee. Tasha, I don't know if you have paperwork. I don't know if it's like veterans and their families. Go get you some free food. Get you some free food because restaurants are serving free food. And for those of you, hey, Jenny, thank you from Australia. One day I'm going to come. Just not around the big bugs, but I'm coming. But thank you so much. But yes, make sure if you are a veteran, thank you so much for your service. Remember, Veterans Day are for those people that have served. Memorial Day is for those people that have served and are no longer with us. So that's the difference between the two. A lot of times people don't know the difference between the two. Veterans Day is for those that have served. Memorial Day is for those that have served and are no longer with us because it's a memorial of them and the life that they gave up. Some of them died in war. Some of them died afterward from the effects of being in the military. Memorial Day is for those that are deceased. Veteran Day are for those that are still alive. So if you know a veteran, sometimes a veteran understands what veterans have been through when we were on active duty. Just thank them for their service. It'll make their day. And make sure, buy them a cup of coffee. If you go somewhere, get, those of you that are veterans, go get you a free meal, go get you some free coffee. And if those of you that see a veteran, pay for their groceries, pay for their gas, pay for their cup of coffee, but tell them thank you. Because most of the time people don't understand what a veteran has been through on active duty. It wasn't easy for us to be on active duty. We loved it. I loved it. A lot of politics behind it. We loved it, but we served, and we served with our hearts. And thank you guys so much for being here. You guys have a beautiful evening. Thank you, Shauna. I appreciate you. You guys have a wonderful evening. Kings, thank you so much. You gentlemen that came here. Thank you for not being intimidated by all these lionesses on here. Thank you for being the lions that you are. And thank you for being here to support. Remember, share the videos because you never know which one of your family members are watching these videos. And if they're good videos, share the videos. You'd be surprised. They may not tell you, but they're watching the videos. You guys have a beautiful evening. Good night. And you guys go be great.